I love bringing up old topics, don't you? It's tea time. So I received this email from somebody sending me a link to a YouTube video. Apparently they saw my Jack Thompson video that I created before I deleted it, and apparently they wanted me to watch this video of this guy called Glenn Beck. So I watched this particular YouTube video, and it was basically him on his TV show talking about Grand Theft Auto and the ills of society. I mean, this is back like before Jack Thompson even got disbarred, because he was also on this particular episode. Well, then later that led to another YouTube video that I saw over on the side that had to do with some talk radio show that he did, and there was a person that called in to ask him a variety of questions, because apparently Glenn Beck has said that all gamer bloggers are losers. Alright, so I've written down some quotes directly from the YouTube video. They're all about him. I don't really quote the other guy he's talking to, because the focus of this video is Glenn Beck. Alright. He says, and I quote, "Speaking of losers, we have Steven on the phone." Okay. That's cool. That's a good one, Glenn. Good one. It's nice to know that an adult can act like a child. It's nice to know that a child can never grow up. That would be Glenn Beck. Alright, moving on to the next one. "Listen to what you're doing right now. It's a video game. Don't you have a life?" Which the young man does have a life. He explains he has a family. He owns his own. He has his own house. He has a job. You know, he doesn't live in his mother's basement or garage like Glenn Beck assumed that he did in the video. Next one coming up is, "I'm not blaming GTA for all the ills of society, but you can beat a prostitute to death with a baseball bat." Okay, so be it to me to be a smart ass, but I would like Glenn Beck to produce a list of every prostitute that has died from being beaten with a baseball bat. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that there isn't any out there, probably like way back in the day. But that's just my sarcastic response to that retardation right there. Alright, moving on. He says it's a really bad idea to use the technology developed by, are you ready for this? I'm about to laugh, the Pentagon. You like my laugh? Yeah, neither did I. To teach people how to kill. So I wasn't aware that the Pentagon created Pong. I wasn't aware that the Pentagon created Mortal Kombat. I wasn't aware that the Pentagon created the Nintendo, the Atari, the Sega, the Dreamcast, the Sony PlayStation. I wasn't aware that the Pentagon created all those. Holy shit, I learned so much from Glenn Beck. Why didn't I pay attention earlier? Because he's an idiot. That's pretty much sums it up right there. I don't know what he's talking about. Video games were not created by the Pentagon. In fact, they actually weren't created really by any military guy. And if they were, their intentions at the time were not actually for the military. In fact, the military later adopted the concept of video games to better help train their soldiers. It wasn't something that the Pentagon actually created, because if that was the case, then that means that they would have created the Pong, Nintendo, and all those other companies. But so that just shows you how ill-smart Mr. Glenn Beck is right there. Alright, further on. He said we should look at this as one of the many factors causing our society to break down. Please do, Glenn Beck, list all of these examples that you so claimly claim are breaking our society, please give me a list. A factual list. Not an opinionated list, a factual list. And then maybe I'll give a rat's ass what you think. Alright. And here's the best part of the whole thing. When he's about ready to wrap it up with this guy, he says, he's a loser. You could never hold a day job, Steve. He's talking to the guy that called in to him. Alright. Now that I've said all that, Glenn Beck. He's an adult. He has a right to his opinion. I will agree to that. However, when his opinion and his absurdity insult another person, that goes beyond judgmental in any form. I don't know exactly what he was exactly thinking. All I'm going to say, he was extremely disrespectful. He calls himself an adult. Let me tell you, if I would have been him, this is how the conversation would have went. You can go watch it to get an idea, because I'm not going to sit here and quote the guy that's calling, alright? So guy calls in, he would have, said his worries, his opinion, whatever. I would have then simply came back and been like, oh, well, I'm sorry if I offended the gaming bloggers. But I was just saying it in a jokingly way. In fact, that's what I actually said in the actual segment. So I apologize if I offended anyone. Holy shit, did you just see that? Do you see how adult-like that is? Instead, he carried on like a 13-year-old... Actually, no. You know what? I'm not even going to insult kids. I don't know what word could describe what he was carrying on like. But it wasn't even a child. It wasn't even the attitude of an adult. This goes beyond immature. I mean, sometimes people like him are... Yeah, see, I'm getting frustrated just thinking about what to say without trying to get and explode. It's just like Jack Thompson and how he said all gamers can go to hell. Because when he said all gamers, he wasn't just referring to kids. He just wasn't referring to adults. He was also referring to children. Nice one, Jack Thompson. It's nice to know that you can stop, shut up, and think before you speak. Nice one, Glenn. It's nice to know you can stop, shut up, and apparently not grow up and talk to someone in a civil manner. That's good. Cheerio. Put your comments below and let everybody know.